Well, as the situation in South Korea continues to develop, South Korea's chief of police has been arrested in connection with President Yoon Suk Yeol's failed martial law declaration, and a special investigation unit says that it's now raided the presidential office, the National Police Agency, the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency, and the National Assembly Security Service. The police conducted the raids as part of an investigation into the president's martial law attempt. And Yonhap has reported that the ex-defense minister Kim Yong-hyun, who was arrested a little bit earlier today, attempted suicide at a detention facility. Now, for more, we're joined by our correspondent Jack Barton, who is on the ground in Seoul. Jack, bring us up to date on the latest, because this is really moving quite fast.
Yeah, that's right. Every day now there seems to be so many moving parts to what is still a story that is shocking South Koreans. Today, people stunned with the news that late last night, the former defense minister Kim Yong-hyun had tried to commit suicide at the detention center where he is being held east of Seoul. Now, he has tried to take a lot of the responsibility for what happened, saying it was sort of all his fault, and asking for subordinates to be given, a sort of a pass because he was ordering them to do things. And he's tried to take some of the limelight off of President Yoon Suk Yeol. But while he was the first to be arrested, the picture is emerging that, Yoon may have actually been the ringleader. But as all these charges mount, of course, this attempted suicide bid, according to local media, it happened in the bathroom at the detention center. Somehow he got his hands on some cord, but the injuries he received were not life-threatening. Somebody spotted him very quickly, and he's now being observed in a secure facility, and they plan to keep him there for the time being. But you mentioned some of the other things happening, the police chief, but also the commissioner of police being arrested. These are appointees of Yoon Suk Yeol. At the same time, the presidential office being raided for evidence as these multiple cases close in around him. We have about half a dozen cases now from the police, from the prosecutor's office, from other agencies, all investigating this martial law, this attempt at martial law, and seeking if there is enough evidence to arrest Yoon over it.
Jack, let me ask you, we got South Korea's National Assembly here, and they've already passed a resolution calling for the immediate arrest of President Yoon and 7 other officials as well. We've got the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials has also separately said that it's going to attempt to arrest Yoon. How will these orders play out? He's still walking around free at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. That chief investigating officer said he did have the will, and it is likely that the investigation will proceed to an arrest warrant from 1 or 2 agencies sometime soon, particularly now that the presidential appointed chief of police has been removed. I've just come from a press conference from the Law Association here, and they say the evidence is fairly compelling, that what Yoon did amount to insurrection. As we hear more and more testimony from those involved, it seems more and more likely that he will be charged as a ringleader. That does not have presidential immunity, and it can carry an indefinite jail term. In fact, it can carry a potential death sentence. However, you mentioned he's still in office. That could be the case for a long time, because the lawyer said under Article 71 of the Constitution, if there is any chance that the president may return to office, he can remain as president. So even if he is charged, he can remain as president unless, ultimately he is found guilty in a court trial. Even if he is impeached, he can still remain president until the Constitutional Court investigates the impeachment motion and a majority of judges rule off on it. So, he could still be technically the president for a very long time, even if he's arrested, even if he's in the detention center. The one caveat, they say, is he has told his party leader, Han Dong-hoon, that he would suspend all of his presidential powers, and he would hand that over to Han as well as the Prime Minister. And the lawyers were saying that that could be perhaps in a legal sense used as a caveat to say that is the president permanently handing over all of his legal authority, and then it would be possible for there to be a snap election, which would no doubt usher in a change of government. But of course, everybody poring over all these implications as that evidence is gathered, because evidence is needed for solid charges to be placed, and that's why we're seeing the president's office raided today. But I think the expectation here is growing that there will be an arrest from one or multiple agencies in the days or weeks ahead.
Jack Barton, always a pleasure. That's our correspondent Jack Barton there, coming live from Seoul with the latest for us on this story.